Have you ever paused to ponder how we, as Homo sapiens, evolved to be who we are today? It's a question that tickles the curiosity of many, and the answer lies in a concept that's both simple and complex at the same time: evolution. Evolution, at its core, is change over time. But it's not just any change, it's the kind of change that happens over generations, sculpting life on Earth into an array of dazzling diversity. The process is not random, nor is it directed by some unseen hand. Instead, it's driven by a mechanism known as natural selection. Natural selection is often summed up as survival of the fittest, but it's more nuanced than that. It's a process where individuals with traits that help them survive and reproduce in their environment are more likely to pass those traits on to the next generation. Over time, these advantageous traits become more common in the population, leading to adaptation. Adaptation is the heart of evolution, the process by which species become better suited to their environment. It's the reason why giraffes have long necks, why cheetahs run so fast, and why we, as humans, have such big brains. But our journey of evolution didn't start with big brains. It started some 65 million years ago, with the first primates. These were small, tree-dwelling mammals that looked more like squirrels than humans. Over millions of years, these early primates evolved into a wide array of species, some of which eventually gave rise to us. The timeline of human evolution is long and winding, filled with branches and dead ends, triumphs and extinctions. But it's a story that's etched in our DNA, in our bones, in the very fabric of who we are. It's a story that's waiting to be told. Now that we have set the stage, journey with me back in time as we trace the path of human evolution. Our journey begins roughly 65 million years ago, with the emergence of the first primates. Imagine a world coming out of the age of the dinosaurs, with small mammals scurrying around, slowly inching their way up the food chain. This is where our story begins, with these seemingly insignificant creatures, which would eventually evolve into the first primates. These early primates were small, about the size of a modern-day squirrel. They were arboreal, meaning they lived in trees. They had flexible limbs for climbing, and they began to develop something new, something that set them apart: opposable thumbs. This simple adaptation provided an advantage, allowing these creatures to grasp branches and food more efficiently. As the millennia rolled on, these early primates began to exhibit other traits that were precursors to our own. Their eyes moved forward on their heads, providing them with binocular vision, a trait that is crucial for judging distances, a handy skill when you're leaping from branch to branch. Their brains also began to grow. While still small compared to ours, they were larger than those of other mammals of a similar size. This increase in brain size gave them a cognitive edge, allowing them to be more adaptable, more capable of learning. These early primates, our most distant ancestors, were also social creatures. They lived in groups, communicated with one another, and formed complex social structures. These social interactions, combined with their increased cognitive abilities, set the stage for the development of culture and language further down the evolutionary line. So, from these small, squirrel-like creatures, we can trace the beginnings of the traits that make us human: our dexterity, our vision, our brains, and our social nature. These early adaptations, while seemingly small, had profound implications for the future of life on Earth. From these humble beginnings, the stage was set for the rise of the hominids. Fast forward to 7 million years ago, the dawn of the hominids. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the grandeur of the evolutionary journey. We're entering a fascinating era, a time when our ancient ancestors began to resemble us in more ways than one. This is the era of the hominids, a group that includes us, Homo sapiens, and our closest extinct relatives. So, what sets hominids apart from other primates? Well, it's a tale of two key adaptations: bipedalism and increased brain size. Picture this: a creature standing upright, walking on 2 feet. This is bipedalism, one of the defining traits of hominids. But why did this shift occur? Theories suggest that bipedalism offered several advantages. It allowed early hominids to see over tall grasses, spot predators, and free their hands for other tasks, such as carrying food or tools. It was an adaptation that quite literally set them on their feet, paving the way for further evolutionary developments. Now let's talk about brains. Over time, hominids developed larger brains compared to their body size. This increase in brain size was a game changer. It allowed for advanced problem-solving skills and the development of complex social structures. With larger brains, hominids could make tools, control fire, and even start to communicate through primitive forms of language. These two adaptations, bipedalism and a larger brain, were instrumental in the rise of the hominids. They marked a significant step in our evolutionary journey, a step that brought us closer to becoming the species we are today. But evolution is a continuous process, a never-ending story of adaptation and survival. As we moved through the epochs, hominids continued to evolve, diversify, and adapt to their changing environments. This ongoing evolution eventually led to the emergence of the Homo genus, a group that includes us, Homo sapiens. With the rise of the hominids, we are one step closer to the appearance of the Homo genus. 2 million years ago marks a significant milestone in our evolutionary journey, the emergence of the Homo genus. Let's delve into this exciting chapter of our story, where we see the advent of beings that are more like us than any other species before. Here we witness the birth of the Homo genus, a group of species that began to exhibit some strikingly human-like traits. One of the most significant developments in the Homo genus was the increase in brain size. While our previous relatives, the hominids, were starting to show signs of a larger brain, it was within the Homo genus that we see a real leap. This growth in cranial capacity is thought to have led to a surge in cognitive abilities, allowing these early humans to think more abstractly and creatively than their predecessors. Now, imagine this. You're a member of the Homo genus, standing on the African savanna 2 million years ago. You're not the fastest or the strongest creature out there, but you have something no other animal does: a tool. The Homo genus was the first to use tools in a significant way. These weren't just simple rocks or sticks. These were objects intentionally shaped and modified to serve a specific purpose. Be it cracking open nuts, scraping meat from bones, or even digging in the ground. Within this genus, we find a variety of species, each with its own unique characteristics. Among them are Homo habilis, often referred to as the handyman, because of their association with stone tools, and Homo erectus, known for being the first of our ancestors to look truly human-like, and to have left Africa, spreading across much of the Old World. As we step through the pages of our evolutionary history, each species, each adaptation, each innovation builds upon the last. The Homo genus, with its expanded brain and use of tools, sets the stage for the next act in our story. The stage is now set for the arrival of Homo sapiens. Finally, around 300,000 years ago, we see the appearance of a species that is very familiar: Homo sapiens. These are our direct ancestors, the first beings on this planet that were, in essence, us. Homo sapiens, or wise man as the name implies, brought a new level of sophistication to the evolutionary table. We possessed a unique combination of traits that distinguished us from our Homo cousins. Our brains were larger, our bodies more slender, and our behaviors more complex. Like our predecessors, we were bipedal, but our posture was fully upright, freeing our hands for tool use and other tasks. Our brains, however, were our most significant asset. We had the cognitive abilities to think abstractly, plan ahead, and communicate in sophisticated ways. This led to an explosion of cultural and technological innovation, marking the dawn of what we now recognize as human culture. Our species was not content with staying in one place. We began to migrate, first throughout Africa, then beyond its borders. We crossed mountains, rivers, and eventually oceans, reaching every corner of the globe. This global dispersal was unprecedented, a testament to our adaptability and ingenuity. But this expansion was not without consequence. As we spread, other species of the Homo genus began to disappear. Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo floresiensis, they all vanished, leaving Homo sapiens as the last surviving member of the Homo genus. So what made us different? Why did we survive when others did not? The answer likely lies in our remarkable capacity for innovation and adaptation. We could alter our behavior and technology to suit new environments, a trait that proved invaluable in our evolutionary journey. And so we arrive at the present day, a world dominated by Homo sapiens, a testament to our remarkable evolutionary journey. We are the product of millions of years of evolution, a story of adaptation and survival written in our very genes. And yet, the story is far from over. As we look to the future, we continue to evolve, shaped by the forces of nature and our own invention.